Or if any discussion are there from your end also, you can tell. We will do that discussion. Okay. Hmm? Anything else is there from your end? No. We'll do the discussion of question paper, right? Is the question paper sharing is visible? No.
No, sir.
How to display this one? Okay. Now visible, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now module 2. From module 1, 4 questions we have discussed in previous class. Now we'll go with the module 2. What is Android? Explain the Android architecture with its features and a diagram. See, again, it is a little lengthier question because definition of Android is asked. Architecture, the figure itself, it will take around 10 minutes to draw, and its feature and its feature you need to write it. So again, this is another repetitive question from since the last few years. Probably there is a chances, right? So is there any doubt? Already you know the answer for this. What is Android? It is an operating system meant to develop the mobile applications, right? It is based on the, it is built on top of the Linux virtual machine. So base of the operating system is Linux. The business logic which it is going to use for the mobile application development is either Java or Kotlin, and the graphical user interface which will be designed through the XML files. Configuration set of files will be again configuring through the XML files. Right? Got it? So, if you want to see the architecture, I'll go and display the architecture. Otherwise, we'll skip off that one. What do you want? So the Android architecture. The bottom layer is the core layer of the Android architecture, that is Linux kernel. Linux kernel. So usually device drivers files which are resided under this Linux kernel. Here the Linux is the core operating system to build the Android applications. So Linux, which will have the number of device drivers like display driver, all the hardware related drivers which will be resided under this Linux kernel architecture. That is display driver, camera driver, flash memory driver, binder driver, that is USB driver, keypad driver, Wi-Fi driver, Bluetooth driver, NFC drivers, near field communication drivers, audio drivers, power management related, all such hardware related drivers which will be present at the bottom layer of the Android architecture. It's a core, it's a base of Android. Then the second layer is the Delvic virtual machine. So that is the second layer which is on top of the Linux kernel which is built off. So Delvic virtual machine is a virtual machine which helps to optimize the memory constrained device. This Delvic virtual machine DVM is used for because the memory capability of the small device compared to the larger device is limited. To do work with such kind of devices, Delvic virtual machine, this DVM is used. It is compared to the Java virtual machine. It is faster than that, faster than the Oracle Java virtual machine. And in the on the top of Linux kernel we'll have a libraries files. Libraries are again, it is either it is a third party libraries or the built-in system library files. The libraries, usually the libraries are surface manager. It supports for the activity classes, media framework for audio video devices, SQLite databases, database related built-in database, web toolkit, WebKit for web applications, free type for font styles and the formattings, OpenGL for graphic cards, SGL for standard graphic language for the graphic cards, secure socket layer, SSL for meant for security, then the IFS IBC. So, sorry, it is IBC. It's again a library file. So libraries are helpful to define the customized applications from the existing base version. So it's a built-in libraries. It is not limited. It is unlimited libraries are available nowadays. You just plug and play those libraries in the Android Studio. So third-party libraries like sending SMS, APIs are there. Application programming interface kit library files are there. If you go with the GitHub repository, it will provide lots of libraries to do the customization of your application, and also it helps you to reduce the time of development time of your application also, because you are using them. Plug and play options are used. This is the second layer. When you come to the third layer, that is applications layer, application framework. Usually the application framework, which consists of the activity manager, window manager, window related frameworks you can make use of. Window related means like view, button, controls, all those things. Activity manager, it provides the layout structure to place the view component onto a mobile device. Then content providers are similar to a separate folders meant to store the files and file content in the form of meta information. Example for content providers is the contact list, gallery list, etc. and so on. View system, the basic view system, GUI systems are used. Package manager, telephony manager, then resource manager like images, audio files is going to be embedded, video files, all those things are the resource manager. Location manager helps to use the location sensor to locate a specific location in a Google Map services, etc. and so on. Notification manager help us to handle the notification, in notification, out notification, both is going to be handled in this application framework. So, and the final last framework is application. So, which will have the Play Store, all the Play Store, which will have all the applications, which is going to be installed and used in the device, entertainment related, productivity, browser, education, geo communication, etc. Those kind of applications which you are going to use. So that is defined as the top layer is the application layer. So from bottom to top, you require to explain in detail. So Linux is a core, then Android runtime meant to run the applications in small devices which has a memory constraints, and libraries, again application framework and applications. These are the basic Android architecture, the diagram, features and definition. Okay, it will you will get a out of 8 out of 8. Okay, now the next question is, if any doubts you can ask. The next question is 3B. Describe the anatomy of Android application. Describe the anatomy of Android application. That is 8 marks. So this some key points you can keep a pen and paper. Some key points you can note down. It helps to recall during last moment of your examination. Right? Describe the anatomy of Android application. So you require to discuss here the step by step of the folders which is resided. One second, I will. Anatomy of Android, right? Okay. So just go through with application. Yes. Anatomy of Android application. So, anatomy of Android application. These are the following four building blocks to an Android application. One is activity, another one is intent receiver, another one is service, another one is content provider. So there are four building blocks to an Android application. One is activity, that is a screen, user screen. Intent receiver, message communication between the user screen. Service, that is broadcast receiver and broadcast senders. Then content provider is file service, storing the file information. So activities are the most common. It is usually a single screen in your application. Each activity is implemented as a single class that extends activity-based class. You can refer this the Woodle latest technologies. Yeah, so intent and intent filters. Intent filters are special class to move from one screen to screen, passing the message from one screen to another screen. You are using the intent filter, means switching between, navigate between the screen to screen. That is, here screen means nothing but it's an activity. So intent receiver, usually it is helpful in data networks like broadcast receivers, broadcast sender. So to receive the signals, register receiver method is used. The service is a, again it's a multi-thread service or service of an activity. So whether where you want to run, either run it in the foreground or it in the background. That one. Then content provider, application can store their data in files. So content provider usually which uses the local SQLite database. It uses the preferences, a shared preferences also it uses to maintain the file information as well as file meta information as well as the content of the file. So these are the main four building blocks, that is anatomy of the Android application. Okay. That will be asked for 8 months. Then, what is an activity? Explain the different app components of Android. So, what is an activity? Just now we have discussed. Activity is a class. It needs to be extended by compact class to define the user defined activity. In this activity, user is going to add the view components to develop the views to the end users. Explain different app components of Android. What are the app components of Android? Android manifest.xml, Android app application.xml, then main activity.java, activity main.xml, resources, strings, values, drawables, folder, etc. Okay. Then what are notifications? Explain various types of notification. So explain the different app components of Android. Explain the different app components of an Android. So if you go with components of an Android application, it will provide the pictorial view. So activities, it uses the content provider. 1 minute. Main activity.java. If you uses any services, my service, broadcast receiver, content provider, fragments, views, the components are fragments, views, layouts, intents, resources, and manifest file, right? Android manifest.xml, resources are drawable folder, intent are filters, layouts are the relative, absolute, frame layout, table layout, then tab layout, then views like button list, radio button, checkbox, text button or edit text, etc. Then fragments are UI fragments, list fragments, different fragments interface, right? These are the additional components of the Android. Then what are notification? Explain various types of notification. So there are two types, alert and toast. In Android, there are two types of notification, alert and toast. So toast are short messages which will appear and disappear depending on the short length of time and long length of time. So it appears and shows the message to the user and it automatically disappear. Means the toast message need not have the interaction with the user. Whereas the alert notification needs the user input, either cancel or accept or deny. So these are the three neutral or cancel or accept. These are the three different state of the alert notification. So notification are the programs, short programs which help to provide the alert messages to the user of the Android application. Okay. So here notification manager helps to define the notifications. You can see the notifications if you come with the tutorials point. Notification, Android notification. So notification is message you can display to the user outside of your application normal UI. So when you tell the system to issue a notification, it first appears as an icon in the notification area to see the details of the notification. So Android Toast class provides a handy way class ಇದೆ. Hello. Notification. So Android Toast class provides a handy way to show user alerts. But problem is that these alerts are not persistent, means it won't store anywhere. Only it appears on the screen few seconds and disappears. There is no user interaction is required for to display the Android toast classes. So another kind of notification is Android alert. So to build the notification manager is used. Here you can set small icon, set content title, set content text to build the toast notification. So in detail you can find here about the notification. So the second type is the another notification, that is alert notification. Alert notification. We'll go through here. Okay, alert Android alert notification. So another notification type is Android alert notification. So you can instead of going with video, we'll go with the alert notification developer.com. Using Java, use Java. So notification builder is used, notification compat is used to build the notification, and priority setting, priority is default. Then small icon you are drawing through the drawable resource folder. Content of that my notification, the content text is the message which you are push onto the notification. Style you can specify the explicitly style type. Then create a channel and set the importance. Okay, so go through this to build the notification and add action. It pushes that snooze pending intent. Okay, alert notification, alert notifications. Alert notification. So snippet code of alert notification is this. It's a builder is used. Snippet code of alert notification is builder is used. So to create a new dialog using its builder respective to the current context. So new alert dialog dot builder, it builds the dialog box with the following attributes like set title, set message, set negative button, that is denying, set positive, that is yes, set neutral button, who cares. So then finally it is going to be show the message which is expected. This is the toast alert message notification type. So if we go with the toast notification, the snippet code is this. So context, current context, get application context, then character sequence, the message which you are pushing onto the toast bar. Duration you are going to set is short, means within 30 seconds it appears and disappears. With the help of toast class, by invoking the make text method of the toast class, you are pushing the current context means where the current application context, and the text message you are displaying onto the screen, and duration it appears, it remains till that duration expires. Then with the help of toast.show method, through that you are going to display the toast message onto the display. Okay. Then the next question is, briefly discuss the fragments as user interface element of Android. Briefly discuss the fragments as user interface element of Android. So fragments. Fragments are a subset of the activity you can think of. You can think of the fragments are subset of the activities. So there are specialized fragments are there, special fragments that can perform specific function. For example, if the main application is running, suppose you want to add the calculator. Calculator is, you can think of it as a fragment kind piece of application which is a third party or the part of the application. Similarly, if you want some conversion like centimeter to inches to foot to the meter to add, like that, if you want to convert, do some conversion programs, you can place the fragment to the sideline of the main application. So fragments are also a holder. It is like a content provider also. It holds the specific programs. So there are specialized fragments are there: list fragment, dialog fragment, and preference fragment. So using fragments, you can customize the user interface of your Android application by dynamically rearranging fragments to fit within an activity. As I said, the example of fitting the calculator, fitting the conversion program, converting the currencies like from INR to dollar to euro, etc. and so on. Such kind of small applications you can sideline with the main application with the help of the fragments. To create a fragment, you need a class that extends the fragment base class. Besides the fragment base class, you can also extend from some other subclasses of the fragment base class to create more specialized. Suppose if you want to extend the fragment class as list fragment, you can create the list fragment list. Dialog fragment, you can create the dialog, and the preference fragment. So we'll look into the each one by one. Using a list fragment is a fragment that contains a list view displaying a list of items from a data source such as an array cursor. So you are connecting at the back end, you are connecting a cursor to the database. Through that you are fetching the information and displaying in the form of list view. So it is useful as you may often have one fragment that contains a list of items and another fragment that displays the detail about the selected posting. To create a fragment list, you need to extend the list fragment base class. So for example, for the list fragment, there are two lists are here, a left fragment list and right fragment list. So it is displaying here. Depending on the selection of that, it will display the post message at the bottom. So this fragment extends the list fragment. So the second another fragment is the dialog fragment. So it appears like this dialog for confirmation from the user before exiting the application. There is a confirmation whether really want to exit. If you press OK or cancel. Is cancel means return back to the application. OK means come out of the application. To do designing of such kind of things, dialog fragment is needs to be used. And preference fragment, depending on the fragment list which you are appearing. Suppose if you want to edit only the names, edit only the address. When you click on edit address, it pop ups a dialog and it fetches the existing address present in the current application. Then you are modifying that and submitting again. That's a preference kind of thing it will support. So one is specialized fragments are list fragment, dialog fragment, and preference fragment. Okay, clear? Fine. So this is about the some of the discussion with respect to the module 2 from July 2019 question paper. So what is Android we have seen. Then explain the Android architecture with its feature and the diagram. Diagram we have seen four layer module. The bottom layer is Linux kernel, that is core. The next to the bottom layer is Android virtual machine, that is Dalvik virtual machine and libraries. The next layer is Android framework and top of the layer is application layer. What is Android? It's an operating system to build the applications for small devices like mobile devices. And describe the anatomy of Android. It has four different components. One is the activity, another one is the service, the another one is the for right service, the another one is intent, and the another one is the content provider. These are the four main components. So one is activity, another one is intent, another one is service, another one is content provider. So what is an activity? It is an user interface and it is a simple activity. If the developer needs to develop a activity, it needs the extension of the class compact activity class. Then explain the different app components. The same. What are notifications? The app components are activity. Activity is developed using Android main activity.xml file, activity main.xml file. For business logic, main activity.java file. Then manifest Android manifest.xml file. Sources strings.xml, values.xml, resources drawable folders. That is the anatomy of the components of the Android architecture. Then the fragments as interface element of Android. Yes, it is an interface element of Android because we can embed the small sideline applications using the fragments. It has the three specialized. One is the list fragment. The another one is the preference fragment. The another one is the dialog fragment. All these are needs to be extended correspondingly: list fragment, dialog fragment, and reference fragment. Then this about the Module 2, revision content of the question paper. So what are notification? Notification are the small programs which notifies the users from outside notification as well as internal notification also. It has two types in Android. One is toast and the alert. Usually a toast does not require the user intervention. It will display the message and it will display the short message and it disappears after some time. So whereas the alert notification needs to have a user input, a three way of input: cancel, accept, and the neutral. Okay. So these notification, using the builder class, you can build the alert notification. Using the toast class, you can build the toast notifications. Fine. So revision module 2 of these part of this question paper we are discussed in the today's class. Is there any doubt are there, or any clarification, or any additions, deletions, or any confusions? I hope I made you understand very clearly about the module 2, the question paper July 2019 of question number 3 AB and 4 ABC. Okay, fine. We'll discuss the next module, module 3, next question 5 and 6 in the next coming class. Thank you. Now I'll take the attendance.